and see what happens. What's happening, everyone? Today we are gonna be growing the channel again, and we are gonna be focusing on how to make this work. If you don't know what these live streams are, I basically make content live and then I post it on YouTube. We check for news, we check for any valuable insight live on the channel, and I think that's a pretty awesome idea that nobody is doing right now. So welcome everyone to a brand new live stream. We are now on Twitter at 130 followers. I'm just processing another crypto update over here. Should be fine. I slept like 5 hours. That's the issue. But otherwise, let's check some XRP news. We do have a lot of great content today. I'll just switch that later. I'll just close this. Close everything here. Once this is finished processing, we can check what's new on the crypto markets. Can't believe I've grown to 130 followers overnight. Thank you so much for anyone following, and welcome to another live stream. We're doing these live streams every single day. So we're not stopping these live streams at all. We're going to be going stronger, and either I go homeless and I lose all my money on crypto, or I will keep streaming. That's how it will be. Like, I will keep streaming until I'm very old. And look at this, 130 followers now. Tons of content for XRP. So I also started streaming on Kick and Twitch. I also have to tell you guys that, and we can just go on here, check some nice news. There's going to be a ton of content. So President Trump says tariffs have had zero impact on inflation. Powell has been whining like a baby about non-existent inflation for months. Cut interest rates, Jerome. So this has been the main news this week, and I think that's a pretty important factor right now, because people don't understand how much the market actually helps if we get interest rate cuts. Now, the reason why Bitcoin dominance is so high and why XRP has not been growing in this space is actually a very simple reason. It is because the interest rates have not been cut. So when you cut interest rates, you actually do get a very big factor. And that is basically that we should be seeing Ethereum go up. But because the markets have been so good in real life, the markets have been so good in crypto, we are actually seeing something insane. What we're seeing right now is that XRP cannot grow because there's no recession. So all these big institutions, they are going to put their money into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to be less risk for them than putting it in XRP, putting it at Ethereum. And this is what we saw the last few weeks. This is why everybody is buying Ethereum. Everybody is buying Ethereum for a very simple reason, and that is because they want to buy it when it's at lowest and sell when it's highest. So I think it's a very important factor that people are seeing right now. Zero impact on inflation. He's saying that nothing is happening, nothing is wrong with tariffs, but I actually think there's a lot of problems when you make these tariffs. Look what happened to the stock market. It actually did crash a lot. So these tariffs are not good for crypto. Not good at all. So we got to talk about another thing, Shiba Inu later, and XRP, because Shiba Inu has also been performing pretty bad lately. But there's been a lot of decent stuff going on for crypto. And guys, if you haven't already, be sure to smash that like button. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. Also, I'm now live on Twitter. I'm making 90 posts there just yesterday. And I have been pretty much very vocal about XRP. I'm live on Kick as well, and I'm live on Twitch. And I'm going to stream this for like 3-4 hours today. Maybe more. So, Trump just demanded that Jerome Powell lowers interest rates. As soon as that happens, bull market. So, in my honest opinion, I think that is why cryptos and altcoins like XRP are not growing. So we can actually make a post. XRP low interest rates are bad for XRP and Bitcoin. The issue is, why would you lower the interest rates if the markets are going good right now? So a new study by the Council of Economic Advisors, led by highly respected chair, just like I always said they would, the fake news and so-called experts were wrong again. Tariffs are making our country boom. I mean, what happened before in the short term is actually it did crash the stock market. So when we saw tariffs, it actually did drop quite a bit. But who has been whining like a baby about non-existent inflation for months? I mean, I kind of think there's two sides here. There must be some sort of inflation. There must be something bad happening, right? It can't be just nothing burger and they're not doing anything. So I have over 130 Twitter followers right now. We are seeing so much content today. There's gonna be probably 3-hour stream. So smash that like button, guys, if you haven't already, or just smash that like button. Now, Ethereum is part of the financial system. Look at this. So this is big news for Ethereum. This is crazy. Like, Ethereum is literally entering the stock market. And if you don't know if this is big or not, I don't know what to tell you. So basically, they got a huge crypto ad in New York. That must have been very expensive. But this just tells me, like, Ethereum has been on ETFs, but the inflow compared to Bitcoin and institutions buying it was very delayed. Like, nobody was still buying actual cryptos right now. And now that we see all these ads, all these pop-ups, it's still not enough. But Ethereum is now finally so low that it's getting bought up by these whales. So very important factor here is it's a very nice thing, actually, that we are seeing Ethereum go up in the market. And guys, if you're new to this channel, basically what I'm doing is I'm documenting my journey from $0 a month. I used to do crypto for 4 years. I do it on and off 10 years. And I try to basically build up my income and provide value to viewers. That's my thing that I want to do. I want to show people and teach people how the market works, not just why it pumps. I want to go into full details. Ethereum looks good here. And basically, this is probably one of the first things I saw about Ethereum ETF being on NASDAQ. And I posted this crypto short yesterday and got 1,000 views. For me, that's a pretty good indicator if you ask me. Especially because Ethereum right now has been very sluggish with its price. Ethereum has been completely, I wouldn't say destroyed, but it's been completely overlooked. And I know many altcoins this year have not performed well, but this is a much needed victory for Ethereum. Ethereum compared to Bitcoin is its all-time lowest. So let that just sink in how low that actually is. It's a very, very low amount that I was hoping that it would go up, but it's actually been pretty much destroyed. And that is because Ethereum right now doesn't have cut interest rates. When we look at history, when interest rates were cut, so that's when Ethereum went up. So when Bitcoin dominance went down, that's when Ethereum went up. And now Bitcoin dominance is at all-time highs. It's never been this bad in crypto history. Basically, Ethereum is at 2023 bear market prices, and it shouldn't be that level. It's a good buy right now. And that's why institutions are buying 250 million, 260 million. They're buying very big amounts. And this is a very important factor I'm seeing for Bitcoin is finally correcting itself a bit. And a way that Bitcoin update is breaking down, dump it more down. That's what people are saying. And there's very two conflicting sides. So this is a chart from 2024 that Bitcoin is actually going to break out. So look at this. This is a chart from 2024, exact same pattern. And guys, I don't believe all these patterns, but these people probably know much more than me about patterns overall and trading. I never did any tradings. You are comparing two different things. A resistance breakout is a resistance breakout. So what I'm worried is that Bitcoin is going to hit even further into dominance. And all these altcoins and all altcoin holders who ever hold anything other than XRP and ever hold anything than Bitcoin will not get their profits, at least compared to Bitcoin. Like Solana went up a bit, but all these other cryptos were not even near levels of Bitcoin dominance. So this is what I'm very worried. Like people saying absolutely vertical. Does this mean like up or down? Like that's my question. People are saying this for Ethereum for years, but Bitcoin dominance right now is at all-time high, like 60-65%. People are saying it's going to go down. And I think the higher it is, the harder it is to stay on top of 65%. I think it was close to 70% at some point. Look, 65, 66%. This means when you think of the crypto markets, it's about 66%. So 2/3 of that is in Bitcoin. 2/3 of that is institutions holding Bitcoin. And it's both a good thing, but it's also like saying basically that other cryptos might not have a chance to really grow. Because why should people buy XRP? Why should they buy Solana if they can buy Bitcoin at a much cheaper price? It doesn't make any sense, right? So if you could buy the same car for $2,000 and one just gives you a better return on mileage, why should you get the more expensive to run car? It doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't do it at all. And I think that's a big problem that people don't realize is that right now we are seeing same patterns with XRP. It saw a pump, but people don't know why they should hold it. And there's definitely a lot of good news today. So President Trump's Truth Social files for crypto blue chip ETF. So this is another video that I wanted to talk about. So here we go. President Trump, actually, this is what Spike Crow and XRP. Now, I'm going to be talking why this is so big. I think they were planning this for a very long time. But the important factor about this is Crow. And Chronos actually has seen a 20% boost. So there is actually more info on this one. And 70% Bitcoin is pretty good. But he was calling them blue chips and that he's going to invest, himself in crypto. And it just makes sense for him because anyone that's going to buy ETF is going to buy anyway. What's very interesting is 2% of it is going to be XRP. 2% is a very small factor, but it's better than nothing. 5% of Chronos. I'm not sure Crypto.com has any fingers in between. Does it have an exchange? Probably not, but it's a very good factor overall. Maybe President Trump's Truth Social is partnered with XRP in a way, and they have a partnership to keep 5% of that in ETF. So 8% Solana and 15% Ethereum. I guess whatever is an ETF is good, but again, 70% Bitcoin means that more institutions will be buying Bitcoin. So when you buy this ETF, you're basically buying 70% of a Bitcoin. So everything else is just buying cryptos. And people don't even realize why XRP is 2%. I think it's honestly marketing. So I think when people talk about XRP ETF, they added the 2% because of marketing. I was saying they have inside info that would have XRP a little higher since it's supposed to run the whole system. People are saying XRP will run the whole system for the markets. And people are very confused about this overall. And I think it's a pretty big news overall because XRP has been actually growing for now. So I'm just gonna copy paste that. XRP, what we have, Crow, and well, it's a pretty big thing overall. So Crow, Bitcoin, ETH, and Trump's Truth Social confirmed, right? So I think people need to know this, and it's a very big thing for me. Because if you have 70% Bitcoin, it's good. But if you wanted 100%, you can buy other ETFs. I think people are going to buy XRP if they want to hold XRP and see XRP go up in value. But it's still a great factor. We are seeing 15% Ethereum. I think a lot of ETFs are not diversified. Like when you buy an ETF, you don't have something like this. So if you want to still trust the old exchanges, this is exactly what's going to happen. You're going to go here and you're going to basically buy crypto. You're going to buy a small amount and it's going to make those gains. And if one crypto like that, if XRP pumps, even 10%, then you make someone XRP. If Kronos pumps, that makes some gains. But Bitcoin is obviously going to go up. That's the safe bet, right? But this one, I guess, is like a medium risk ETF. Because then you can have 15% Ethereum in case it explodes. You can have 8% Solana, 5% Crow, 2% XRP in case it explodes. So definitely very good news overall. I don't find anything bad about this. Any ETF that gets added is pretty much good. So I don't want to subscribe here, but I will give this guy a follow. It's nice he actually provided a source as well. It's nice that XRP is being included in this multi-coin ETF products, but at the same time is deploying a small percentage. Guys, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Can they maybe include, because of the lawsuit, only 2%? Nobody knows. Like, even at 2% ETF, XRP, that's still great news. Like, I'm pretty much down for that. So hopefully the next XRP is gonna be 15%. Maybe we're gonna get an XRP ETF. Can we get an XRP ETF for 15%, for 90% ETF, or maybe 100? Can we get a 100% ETF of XRP allocation? And then we can post like a whale, I guess. So there's gonna be probably XRP whales buying all of that. I definitely want to see that. Not only 2%. I'm guessing it's some legal issues because it still had a lawsuit. So it's important to know that this might change in the future. Again, still tons of news here. Chat, is this good for Ethereum? So many memes. I saw this guy post that Ethereum is going to go higher every single day. Every single day he has been posting that ETH is going to break out. And every time I see his stream, I see the price crash, which is unfortunate. I want to cover more than just ETH at this point. Not just one thing. But there's plenty of good stuff that happened. Like Bitcoin reaching 109,000. I mean, that's good. All right. This is something very interesting that made me believe that Ethereum might be the next big thing. Okay, so we all know Ninja for Fortnite. Everybody watches Ninja, right? And here, the 100 million Ethereum Treasury launch today game is backed by Twitch streamer Ninja. I'm not sure how much he's backing it. Is he joined GameSquare as Chief Innovation Officer to shape the next evolution of gaming and entertainment. I'm not sure how connected is he to this. I mean, we gotta ask Grok on this, because is he like, what's a Chief Innovation Officer? I guess like he says which games are good and what people are playing right now. I think a lot like CEO Blevins will tap his rich experience as innovator and conduit to lead the company's efforts in pursuing emerging growth opportunities. GameSquare announces price of underwritten public offering to launch Ethereum treasury strategy. $100 million. Public offering for sale of 8.4210, so 8.5 million shares of common stock at a price of $1 per share, basically 95 cents. And they're basically asking people approximately 8 million before deducting underwriting discounts and commission expenses. The company intends to use the majority of the proceeds to accelerate the launch of its newly for ETH-based treasury strategy. So this is pretty good news. Again, another Ethereum ETF. Are these companies doing something we don't know? So they're basically going to be selling these ETFs in a way. So it's not, if 100 million gets bought, I guess it's kind of free money in Ethereum investments. I think they have to buy it and hold a certain amount. It raised 8 million through a public offering of 8.4 shares, and proceeds will go through the Ethereum strategy. So this is pretty huge. And this is a treasury they launched today. And I'm seeing a lot of these posts regarding Ethereum. That's why I'm bullish on it. Because when you follow the markets, you don't see that much for XRP right now, like pumping. But you do see that for Ethereum. So 100 million Ethereum treasury backed by Ninja to raised 8 million USD. And we can put like a Ninja here. That's pretty good. I guess this one's good. I mean, gaming is all, I'm not sure if they're going to be selling Ethereum, but it's definitely good news to see that. I think there's always profit to be made from that. Guys, if you haven't already, smash that like button. I have social media channels below, and you know, smashing that like button actually feeds the algorithm and it helps me stay in loop. There's tons of content to be talked about and to be made. Also follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, because I do have some more news. So this is pretty good news overall. And I'm pretty excited. The issue is who's gonna buy all this crypto. I think it's called SharpLink Gaming. I'm not too sure what it's called, but again, pretty decent. So let's go here, see what else is up. I guess meme coins are kind of away. Okay, so, oh, Solana has a new update. I want to see what this actually means. Well, I love Solana, so I'm just going to tweet at them. Thanks so much for this. So Volkswagen ADMT just tapped Hive Mapper's B Maps to power spatial intelligence and autonomous vehicle testing. Crowdsource crypto incentivized vehicle testing. I guess now supporting the world's biggest automakers. So I guess they work on Sol. Robo taxis plus Hive Mapper are match made in heaven onwards. And this actually got 500,000 views, 400,000, actually pretty much a lot. And what this means, Ariel, please prioritize reward distribution fix for all mappers. So I'm guessing this is like a special project of Tri-B Maps. I gotta see what this actually means. Offers advanced street-level intelligence with near real-time data, helping developers and businesses stay ahead. And I'm very much guessing they're on Solana. So I'm guessing there's a big partnership that they're working with, you know, these big companies that need mapping and they need technology. So what do you do when you cannot get technology of your own? You start to outsource it, basically. And I am pretty excited about that. Like, this could be good news. But is this gonna pump Solana to heaven? Possibly not. There's plenty of things that Solana is doing good, and the prices show for it. This is why Ethereum is lacking so much behind. So 400 devs and founders have officially signed up to compete in the first fully mobile blockchain hackathon on Solana. So Solana is going mobile, and I think that's a bigger news than anyone might expect. 10 top DApps will win $10,000. If I had $10,000 right now, I would buy a new PC. Why would I buy a new PC? I would probably make more shorts, and I use it every day to make crypto content, which is completely fine. My PC is already super good, so I'd probably buy food if I had $10,000. Distribution to 150,000 Seeker users, marketing and launch support. Now this is big. Imagine getting shout out from Solana and they're placing you on the App Store and they're making this like competition for $100,000. There has to be a lot of money still in crypto to make a competition like that, just giving $100,000 away. And it's probably good for the ecosystem. Guys, $100,000 is like a meme coin. So what they can do is they can just sell like a portion of their Solana, like probably a small portion. So how much Solana can they sell? Solana, 100,000 sold to let's see, that's about, so that is gonna be 670 Solana, and they probably got it for free or very cheap from the marketing budget. So Solana is making tons of headlines already, and they probably got the unlimited money glitch. And as long as these institutions keep buying in, this is probably just a small, you know, little competition for them. But for someone like a developer that wants to launch his own project and has a great idea, this just proves, like, I never saw this for Ethereum. Like these gas fees, we are seeing all these crypto traders staying on Solana. It's actually very bullish for the Solana network, because what are you going to do? Are you going to go to all these apps that people have made that have put technology and use it on their mobile phone? So I want to see this. So Solana, another W for Solana, even though I have to be very subjective because I don't hold much Solana. Again, Solana is at this point where they don't have to develop stuff. They can just pay people to develop stuff for them. And mark my words, when like the biggest win for Solana, the biggest loss was when FTX crashed and everybody thought it's going to zero. But the biggest win for Solana was actually when the Terra Luna Classic crashed. When Terra Luna Classic crashed, Solana won because it has zero competition. Terra Luna or Terra was the only competition, and nobody trusts Terra Luna. So they will just stay there. They will probably keep building, and a lot of these ape coins and all these pump coins and everything will stay on Solana.
There's no way you're going to
So I think that's a pretty big factor. A lot of people don't realize that Solana might be the next big thing regarding these small projects, because it's much cheaper to develop because of these transactions to even test. You know, it's not like Ethereum. You have to pay $3, $5, $10. You can pay just a very small amount and actually grow a lot. So That's why people are bullish on Ethereum, because institutions are buying it. But I think next up might be just Solana coming in on the big thing about crypto and ETFs, like the ETF value. We have been waiting that for a long time. So for me, we got to talk about SHIB now. SHIB has been actually performing pretty not great recently. And I want to see why is that. Matthew Perry made a new video on it, and I want to give my reaction.
What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. Welcome back to another video. Now,
so guys, still remember SHIB, it basically pumped in 2021, but after that, it never recovered. And a very large portion, I've been creating Shiba Inu content every day for 6-7 months. And a very large my portion audience disappeared as well. So I stopped making content for 4 years that way. It's only recently, 1 week ago, that I came back. That's why I have absolutely no views, because you can get stressed when nothing happens with SHIB. You gotta think of new ways to make content. With XRP, the content comes by itself because there's so much stuff happening. With Solana, I can just open up Twitter. But in 2021, with SHIB at that time, there was no content because there was no actual development, or it took a long time. And what ended up happening is a lot of these people have actually left crypto. They have left Shiba Inu and they have left the project. And this, I think, has hurt, because these whales, what they ended up doing is they sold everything. They sold a very large portion of their Shiba Inu, or some sold everything when they had so much money in, and that was it for them.
honestly, maybe 1 or 2 positions that I don't hold. I hold things because I believe in them. And when I see things through, I give it the time to actually flourish, right? You can't water a flower and then just be like, all right.
We got to be objective about SHIB, because it's very hard for me to be objective because the project has been stagnating at this part.
Turn into something bigger. Do something better. Or give me something. No, right? You have to wait time, right? It may take until spring for you to end up, getting a flower and getting something that's beautiful.
Exactly, and that's the thing with SHIB. It can still recover, but the reason is it might take a very, very long time before it ever recovers in that sense.
And that's the same thing for cryptocurrency, right? Not saying that we have to wait till spring, but I'm saying you have to wait and wait and wait until you get to a point to where the crypto market can flourish, right? Meme coins can flourish. So what I want to do in this video, I want to talk about projects, right? These meme coin projects at everybody is saying, hey, you must have sold because you don't talk about them.
Well, I guess a lot of crypto influencers sell all their crypto and then try to start again, or just try to forget about these meme coins. But in reality, we should all be grateful, like all of us content creators and all of us viewers. It gave us a lot of expertise on where to go from here. Because like what we saw with Shiba Inu, it used to be a very big thing, but it seems like we are right now not seeing the same pumps, and we might never see them again, ever.
Right. I like to respond to these comments to let people know that I haven't sold anything. I still hold all my positions. As you can see from the title of this video, I still hold Shiba Inu, right? Because I believe in them.
I believe in them as well, but they have to do something. Because remember, guys, 2021, if anyone's been in crypto in 2021, it's gotten much harder now to make money. It's gotten much harder now to make it as a project, and it's gotten much harder now to make it as a content creator. So the biggest issue right now is people saw easy money in 2021. 2022, okay, you joined in, you made easy money. But it's not like that anymore. You actually have to grind, and it's 3 times or 2 times harder. It's more competitive. There's more projects around, and there's also more projects that will dump on you. It's becoming more like of a competitive thing all the retail investors, people who invested in crypto for a very short time, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, are now investing in crypto for 3 to 4 years. And to get that type of knowledge, you have to be something, you have to provide something of value, either as a project. So the point I'm trying to make here is Shiba Inu has a lot of competition. And XRP has been developing for years. It's been developing 10 years to get a pump like this now. It had a huge 500 million lawsuit, and it could sell all the coins, and the developers could have left and went file for bankruptcy. And that's what when people held through that time. What did Shiba Inu do? They launched NFTs, they launched a game, and they did stuff that everybody else did, but that is not enough. They got some key players, and they threw a lot of money around. But in the crypto space, people move on very fast. They move on from crypto very fast. They move on from altcoins very fast. They move on from content creators very fast. And people don't realize how much this can be a problem.
On my link for BTCC, that's at the top of the coins that I still hold to this day. And people think that I gave up on it because I'm not talking about it actively. And maybe I do need to make some more videos and diversify a little bit more. And that's something that I look to doing. But this video is to talk about those meme coins and go through where they stand right now, as well as if I'm still holding those positions. So if we go into my watch list has basically everything that I am holding with the
So what is he holding mostly? I know he also bought Chronos. So you can see he holds Avalanche, Cardano, Solana, XRP. He's holding a lot of these layers. So if one of these explode, this is pretty smart. If XRP explodes, he makes a ton of money on XRP. But people will always use chains, right? They will always need to send transactions. So regardless of what it is, regardless of where he makes his money, basically, there will always be victories at that point.
Exception of a few things maybe I just didn't add, but in my watch list I have meme coins that I want to go down the list and see. So if we scroll down here, we're going to get into the first meme coin, Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu stands at 0.0000.
I mean, it removed some zeros and it lost a big portion of the market cap, but it's very, to be fair, when you're like a project owner and see Shiba Inu explode like that, guys, if you haven't already, smash that like button as well. It's going to be very hard to make it trending, basically. It's going to be hard to just make it pump for no reason. You got to have it's going to be super competitive. And in my honest opinion, it's going to be hard for Shiba Inu to recover those levels again.
0.1190. It is at a $7 billion market cap with $140 million worth of volume. Now for Shiba Inu, I still hold I believe it's 10 million or no, 100 million Shiba Inu. It's roughly 100 million. It's like 99 or 90 something. But 100 million Shiba Inu that I still hold to this day because of what I believed in and I still believe in now.
So how much is he holding?
But 100 million Shiba Inu that I still hold to this day because of what I believed in and I still believe in now.
So I don't know how much 100 million is that. 100 million used to be like $2,000, $3,000 in Shiba Inu. This was many years ago, and it's 4 years now since Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is now $1,100, 100 million. Imagine when people were bragging, I got Shiba Inu for $20. I picked it up for only $3,000. Well, it's only $1,000 now. It's selling at a discount. Because you have bonk, you have meme coins, and meme coins are getting more saturated. So why should people buy SHIB if they can buy bonk? You know, if anyone has a different opinion, they can know me down in the comments to know. Will XRP go up today? I need to check on that. There's a ton of content. Like, I made a ton of videos on XRP actually. There's gonna be a pretty big news coming tomorrow for XRP. We'll get back on that later.
Right?
Welcome
Yes,
to the channel.
the argument of getting to $1 and all of that and burning off the entire supply, that has been fought by, the ecosystem dev team and not seeing as many burns to where we can actually have a large impact.
So they're basically competing with Bonk, which has $500,000 of burns.
Overall burns, but we can still experience larger, huge market caps. We can still see double-digit.
I don't believe this is going to happen for Shiba Inu, and I'm trying to be objective here, but with current level of how Shiba Inu is progressing, it's going to be very hard for SHIB to just pump out of nowhere. I'm kind of afraid for Shiba Inu at this point.
Triple-digit market caps for Shiba Inu, which is one of the OG meme coins. So I believe we still will see that. That's why I still hold 100 million Shiba Inu. I know it's nothing compared to some people that hold billions.
Some whales have sold everything as well. So you gotta think about that. Like some whales will just sell all their SHIB and take it away. And some people have done that. If you look at the charts, people have sold all their SHIB and bought Ethereum, and then they bought XRP. They bought XRP after the lawsuit. That's how the markets work. Some people still hold billions and they bought it at a loss. I know people who sold their house and now are thinking to invest half in Bitcoin. Who's to say half of those won't invest in, example, SHIB? There's nothing stopping them because they want to make a quick buck.
In the end. Another play that I hold that I bought right before it got launched on Coinbase and then after it got launched on Coinbase was Bonk. Bonk stands at a $1.8 billion market cap, and I believe that can easily get to double digit, if not getting to about a $40+ billion market cap.
On freaking,
I firmly believe that could be the case for Bonk and how much that means.
I agree. I think Bonk will catch up. I think it will overplay SHIB. Because what they released right now is they released like this burning mechanism. People have been asking burn for 4 years and Bonk listened. And now that Bonk listened, they just had a bombshell of a burn. People joined in, burns happened, and people got basically very, very happy with the burns, and they launched their own meme coins, and a percentage of that gets burned. And that's how people were asking for Shiba Inu, and there was no burn on layer 2, so why would people use their layer? And again, I love Shiba Inu, I love it as a project, but you gotta think from a buyer perspective. When they launch a new blockchain, what gives them the advantage over someone just buying it on ETH? It's a very brutal market you have to think of. Crypto doesn't care about your feelings. It only cares about the losses and gains. And I guess people don't know that. Like, did anyone care about XRP's price at its lowest? No, they did not. They did not care at all.
To the Solana chain, it's definitely a bigger picture item, and it's one that I do hold and believe in. Another one that I hold that I think has a little bit of controversy or argument behind it is Bohm.
All right, so this one I haven't heard that much. I only knew it pumped like once, and that's it. That's all I know. It pumped once in 2023, 2024. I thought it's gonna be just a bad meme coin, but actually it pumped a lot more. And it's top 300, so it still has layers of potential. But compared to how much Bonk has been developing, and again, I don't own any Bonk. I don't hold any of it, so I can be only objective. It's only when I'm on this Twitter crypto space 16 hours a day, making content for free. That's how I gained this knowledge to give it to you guys. Smash that like button if you want to thank me. I don't need any food. I just need a like button.
It would be a good opportunity to buy more of it if you do truly believe in it. Now, I don't have money right now to invest into crypto, and I said that I was done buying crypto right now, that I was going to see altcoins through. But when you have a project like this, when you have something that truly can be a larger than life meme coin currently sitting,
I think having a very small position of maybe like $1,000 of this, like if it's top 300 market cap, 110 million market cap, and it goes back to like 15,000, It could make you a lot of money, but the chance of it like 10xing is much, much smaller, and it's basically gambling at this point. That's why you got to keep low positions. So he actually does have some very small position like GameStop, and GameStop, I guess, is very based on how it's going to perform. Like these are top 2,000, 3,000 cryptos, very small ones. That's why maybe he's just like hoping they go up. The good thing is he actually shows what he's holding.
A MetaMask account.
So $700 of this, $700 of that. Now, I usually think this is gambling, right? It's not anything special. But the good part about this is if you put $700 in Bonk on XRP, you might not make more than $3,000, or it's going to be much harder to do that. But when you put it into like a random meme coin that actually has long-term potential, that's listed on CoinMarketCap, that's not on like Pump Fund, and you're going to lose your money in 24 hours, you have a very good chance of profiting from there.
You're going to see, I have 1 million Grok that's there. I have Vector Smart Gas. I have Lucky's Leprechaun that's still sitting there. I have some Pepe. I have Elmo. I have many positions that I'm still holding on to that I still have some sort of belief in. Whether it's a small amount of belief or a larger amount, I'm still holding on to them because they are investments. I treat them as such. Yes, meme.
So yeah, the issue is with meme coins is you might lose your money, and you should be okay with that. You might lose everything. But the good part about it is if you lose the money, it's going to be $700. Now, $700 can buy a house in third world country, or it could probably build you like a small shack, but it's still pretty nice overall.
Coins are very tricky to treat as investments at all because they're all dependent on popularity. Well, that, right?
The issue is like right now, meme coins are not doing well, but for the future, this could be a very smart decision. So another thing I want to check out is XRP ETF news. And this is exactly what I was talking about. And I wanted to check Oscar Ramos' opinion on this.
Unbelievable. Another one. Last week, we got Ripple applying to become a bank. Tomorrow, we got the XRP buzz.
So yeah, this was actually in just this month, XRP getting to a bank would be absolutely amazing. But now 2%, we finally found out is just 2% of an XRP ETF. But for me, that's pretty good news. Like, would you rather have 0% or would you have 2% of a crypto coin going up? And I think 2% is pretty good. Maybe there's some legal stuff that they can't list more than 2%. So for me, that's just a win, regardless of how big it is. So remember, when someone buys the ETF, if they buy $100 of it, 2% will go into buying XRP. Think of it like a burn tax. It's a good amount.
Breaking. President Trump company Truth Social has filed S1, which is coming in real, for a blue chip ETF. Who are they considering blue chip? BTC, Ethereum.
Again, he considers these blue chip ETFs. I think that he might add some more in the future. Or he might change them and call them, I don't know, any chip or gold chip. But this is a document that I haven't seen before.
Us, we have different percentages. Where, oh, let me go back here. There's more allocated.
So yeah, more is allocated to Bitcoin. And I guess this is a very smart decision because if there's an ETF, which gets sold the most? Is the Bitcoin ETF. The Bitcoin ETF is going to be sold by far furthest. But then there's going to be people, I don't want to only hold Bitcoin because I'm going to only 2x or make half that money if Bitcoin does 2x. So what do people do? They say, we're going to do Ethereum, which has a lot of transactions. It still has a lot of uses, and it's really undervalued, in my opinion, right now. We're going to go Solana because people love meme coins, and if meme coins ever come back, that's 8%. We're going to go Chronos because it's if people ever use exchanges, a safe exchange that has a token is going to be Crow, right? 5% of that. And it's never going to go away. People will always use exchanges. Even if there's 10,000 ETFs, some people don't want to put anything other than exchanges because they've been using it for 10 years. And then you have 2% XRP, which is people's favorite.
To CRO. and XRP is only 2%. You might say, well, why is it not more than CRO or Solana, right? Well, we don't get to decide that, but I'm pretty positive, guys. Just the fact that being inside of this ETF, it's huge, and
It's good overall, whatever percentages it is. And it could be legal issues. It could be they don't want to give more to XRP. It could be they cannot, that it has to be 70%, at least 70% Bitcoin. It could be they give maximum they could, because XRP is still applying through regulation and governments. And once we get that resolved, we could be seeing XRP growing as well.
100 crypto ETFs that will pass and that will be approved and that will be issued, and people can decide however they want to buy.
The thing is, I don't know if people who are buying XRP are going to be buying this ETF. Like, if they want to buy XRP, wouldn't they just buy XRP instead of buying just 2% of it? So they are going to buy this if they want to have a collection of cryptos that they think it will go up in the long term. So let it sink in.
Because it's like, well, why do I need another XRP ETF if I already have one? Because you open it to many different people, managers, fees, opportunities, companies. If you want to buy into the S&P, you can buy from Vanguard, from Fidelity, you can buy from Invesco, you can buy from so many different type of...
Exactly, yeah. You could buy that, but instead they're just going to go for it on basically this small ETF. It's still gonna pump the price just slightly, maybe 1%. I don't think it's gonna change the world. I think once XRP knows where to go from here, it's really gonna change XRP. Like, when XRP will have like the green light from the government, that's gonna be the biggest news, more than anything.
Buying the fear, basically. So you want to start? I have really good news on BTCC. I talked to the BTCC fam when I was in Dubai, and guess what I did? I added, thanks to my conversation, CRO here. So you can...
Well, that's pretty awesome. I know he's holding a very large majority of Crow. So that's a pretty cool thing, that you actually have enough power to influence and add tickers. Only 2% XRP is being considered a blue chip crypto. Wake up. Everyone told me it was a bad coin since 2020. And I have been all in. We'll be in front of the big incumbents this week. Ripple is going to be a bank. I think this is just the start. People are very upset it's only 2%. Why? Because if it's only 2% and you, again, if you buy, like, these institutions are going to buy a lot from Trump, right? They're going to buy $1 million of the ETF. And when they buy $1 million, you're going to be like, oh, 2% is going to go into ETF. That won't pump. But again, this is free money coming into the ETF. I think it's kind of misleading to say, hey, we're going to put all this money and there's going to be an XRP ETF, because it's not an XRP ETF. It's 70% Bitcoin ETF with 15% Ethereum and 2% XRP.
Now, going back to the very beginning, right, with Coach, people crack me up. Only 2% allocation. XRP is being considered a blue chip crypto. Wake up. Everyone told me it was a S coin since 2020. I've been all in. Brad Garlinghouse will be tomorrow speaking. Ripple is going to be a bank, what I told you earlier in the video.
I mean, Ripple being a bank, and there's a rumor that it's going to be an IPO, so initial public offering. If it enters the NASDAQ stock, I can definitely see it hitting $3-4.
Believe with all my heart, like, this is going to be, and this will create the new 1%, which I totally agree. Guys, we need more allocations right now before everything gets insane. Urgent. Wake up call. I telling you guys, like, if I go to XRP hashtag, everybody's going to be like...
I mean, everybody's talking about this right now. They might have some more news later this month or this month, hopefully. Especially don't forget, guys, July 9th. I'm not sure if when this video is going to be up, if it already happens. So smash that like. July 9th is going to be the big thing for XRP. It's what people have been waiting for, and it's actually a lot about taxes right now and regulation that's holding XRP and Ripple back. It's this regulation that you cannot speed up, that it takes time to get approved by the government, and once that is approved, it's a green light from there. So XRP has been building for 10 years, and finally they're, doing some positive news and positive changes for once. With the lawsuit over, they can focus on that.
Keep an eye on this. Oh, I like this picture. I like the glowing. XRP to 260 by the end of today. Someone is saying. Breaking news. Look at that. Oh, that's a great picture. See that? Makes sense, man. Makes sense. At the end of the day, you do whatever you want. I mean, we're not forcing anybody, to maybe complete a transaction that you don't want. Do whatever you want. Just
there's a lot of positive indicators. Like, on one way, crypto YouTubers are saying it's going to go crash because XRP has been historically this low. But on the other way, there's a very high chance, because with the lawsuit over, that it will go up. So nobody truly knows for sure. And we have to look at what the whales are doing. Are XRP whales selling XRP right now, or they're buying XRP whale? Smash that like button, guys. I'll keep you guys more updated on this. Bam. So what's happening with XRP today? XRP holds the number spot with over 133 million. So everybody who was in Korea, and Korea was very popular with Terra Luna Classic, the exchange who was basically holding down. And this is insane. This is like very popular in the Asian markets. So XRP is number one in Korea right now. 124 million trading volume. There's a lot of money coming probably from there, and a lot of XRP whales. So I think that's making a lot of people very happy about that. Like in Korea and all these markets, we were not seeing anything, but there was a lot of partnerships there that made crypto huge, right? And bam, Upbeat is having a big trading volume. Who is actually trading XRP? Whales. I posted it wrong. Whales are trading XRP. They have since 2015. So yeah, a lot of whales bought XRP, and they're holding it now. So yeah, let's take a look at this. Pretty good news. Again, another news, ETF, more news. Ondo Finance tokenized US Treasuries are now live on XRP Ledger. Then we have contracts deployed. So every single day, this is why XRP holders keep coming back, right? Just look, I just typed XRP whale, and I got, actually that's June, so that is last month. That's not July. But we got two different news in just 24 hours. And when you check other cryptos, they have very small updates once per month. So XRP whale bought XRP worth 17 million from Coinbase in May 21st. I'm wondering if the price went up since he bought it May 21st. The scary thing is, did he lose $1 million since then? May 21st. May 21st was actually trading around $2.44. So May 21st. Okay, so it was 235. So he just lost maybe a few $100,000. That's fine. Just a few $100,000 he lost. But you can actually see that it's in a steady momentum of going up. And that makes me very, very happy for XRP. Good news overall for XRP, really. That still whales are buying it, and you can actually see the whales accumulating XRP. Look at that. From $2, one of the whales kept buying $2 and $2.30. Now, this might not mean a lot if you are trading with $10 or $5. But if you're trading with actual big money, like for example, if you're trading with $5 million, that becomes pretty big amount. And I think that's what people realize, is that these whales will keep trading every single day. And if you guys don't know who I am, I basically make crypto videos every single day and make crypto content. I stream on Kick, Twitch, YouTube to basically give you info and force myself to do the work. I think we did pretty good on XRP right now. I think I said what had to be said. So this is going to be another quick video I'm going to do on XRP about being rich list update. So if you want to be top 1% of XRP, you got to hold 50,000 XRP. If you want to be top 10%, 2,500 XRP. If you want to be top 5%, 8,800 XRP. So let's check how much 50,000 XRP is. So if you're holding $100,000 of XRP, you're in top 1%. So that's a very important factor. If you're holding just $5,000, you're already in top 5%. And how could we actually get this bigger is the Asian markets. There's a lot of money in Asian markets. If people from other countries, like less developed countries and less fortunate countries, end up buying XRP, which XRP is doing with development, it could be very big. So there's 0.01% of people holding is only 660 wallets. And guys, remember, a lot of these wallets could be gone or lost forever for XRP. So having 100K in XRP puts you in top 1%. Having $5,000 of XRP puts you in top 5%. Follow my Twitter if you haven't already. We're gonna try to reach let's say 1,000 followers by the end of the month. We're at 127. We're growing so rapidly. But yeah, so having only, actually that puts you in top 10%. What am I typing? I only slept for 5 hours today. Wanted to make more content. So that would mean in theory that having less than that, then that puts you in bottom 90%. How much XRP are you holding? And then we put XRP news. So if you guys don't see what I'm doing, I'm also documenting my journey of making it a full-time content creator. So if you smash that like, it actually helps me a lot because I post 12 times a day. I stream 2 hours and it's a full-time job without being paid. So I'm doing it out of love and because I'm very fortunate situation to not need money right now. So this is how much you actually need. And there's a lot of whales that got it for pennies. So a lot of these holders might be in top 1% because again, when the price goes up, they are going to be holding, like they're going to be put up in an upper bracket, like 0.01% might be put in 0.01%. And you got to also consider about the burns. You got to consider about the development and the price going up and the wallets getting lost. So this does not give me confidence. Too easy to be in top 10%. People are saying too easy to be in top 10%, but you got to have $5,000. Like if you say that this is easy to be in top 5% or 10%, you got to travel because $5,000 is a lot for a lot of people. And this is both good because this can unlock a lot of people coming into crypto. And there's over 660,000 people, I guess. I'm not too sure if on exchanges or if on wallets. I guess on wallets because exchanges are different. But there's probably over 1 million platforms. So I think that's a pretty big news that like Robinhood is entering crypto again, just like 2021. Tokenization solves liquidity problem. And this is what he said.
And you probably saw last week, Chairman Atkins of the SEC gave an interview about tokenization. He called it a great innovation. And we agree with that. We think tokenization is perhaps the biggest innovation to come into capital markets in the...
So which chain is going to be that? Is that going to be on XRP? Again, Robinhood tokenization has been talked by BlackRock as well. It's been talked by everyone. So which one is going to be? Either Ethereum, which BlackRock is doing, so that's going to be the tokenization, or could be XRP. XRP has been having a lot of developments, or Sol. So most likely it's going to be on Ethereum. And that's what people are happy about. Could be on XRP. But people don't understand what this actually means, tokenization. So tokenization basically means, in explaining very simple terms, is you take a small portion of something, small portion of, let's say, a cryptocurrency or a small portion of a car, and you put it in a fraction of that. You basically split it up like a cake. And then you need money, right? You need funding, and you're willing to say like to rent out 1/8 of your car, or you're willing to rent it out, and then people can share the profits without having, to put in each bank account. Everybody that owns your car or bought your car to rent it out is gonna now receive 1/8 of those profits. So just to explain further, you buy a car, for example, you buy a fraction of a car, you buy 1/8 of a car, and then you can rent it out, right? And you can make money on it because you own 1/8. You can rent it out for 1/8 of that. So tokenization is going to solve that liquidity problem by people or companies having no money. Because what happens is, what if people want to buy an apartment, but they can only own 1/10 of it, and they're only going to stay 2 months a year there. They're going to live with their parents, their dad and mom, for the next 10 days. So instead of having like all these legal issues, tenants not wanting to go out, they instead can buy it on the blockchain and rent it out for just basically 2 months. It's not exactly like Airbnb because it will happen for every year. And there is something like that in real life where you can share like a vacation house, but it's nothing in that way because like you have to exchange everything. So it's much harder in that way. It's also like the payments are gonna be automatic. There's gonna be a lot of benefits. Everything's gonna be on the chain. Everything's gonna be automatic. Well, that's about it. There's gonna be it's going to be automated, and it's going to be on chain, and everything's going to be tracked. And you can use this for anything. You can use it for shipments. You can use it for real estate. You can use it for anything you want. And I saw also with Ethereum. Actually, I want to talk about also this Jeff Bezos selling 665 million worth of Amazon shares. I'm not too worried about that because Jeff Bezos actually does this every year. Every time Jeff Bezos sells, people are saying, a bad market is coming. We're going to crash crypto. Everything's going to go to heck. He actually sold 65,000 Amazon stocks sold. He's gonna sell 665 million, not thousand. And everybody's gonna be saying that this is gonna crash the markets, this is gonna crash XRP. No, this always happens. Like, people don't make announcements about it. But we saw XRP is one of the up conviction picks and looks to set 160K by the end of the year. Is it gonna... Okay. This was actually deleted because it wasn't... Yeah. So Cointelegraph deleted it because it was taken out of context. Wow. This is pretty interesting.
The ProCap made a significant institutional move, purchasing 3,700 Bitcoin at an average price of $103,000 just yesterday.
So Anthony Pompilano is, I hope I spelled his name correctly, is actually moving markets.
And the question is, right, there's not a lot of Bitcoin left. I mean, it sounds like the Wild West right now. Where do you find this Bitcoin?
Yeah, so we own now 4,950 Bitcoin. Our goal is to buy as much Bitcoin as we possibly can.
So there's not a lot of Bitcoin left. When you look at how much has been lost, how much people have actually kept it for themselves, there's only a very small fraction of that Bitcoin.
To think of now, there's a new professional sport for Bitcoiners, which is who can acquire the most Bitcoin. And
like, institutions are buying Bitcoin as bread and butter. People are completely forgetting that, how easily it's sold.
Much as we want to buy as much Bitcoin as possible, there's a lot of other companies that want to do this as well. And so to your point, what you're starting to see is you are starting to see OTC desks or maybe Bitcoin on exchanges. Those numbers are going down. And so naturally, price will have to readjust upwards because people don't want to sell their Bitcoin at $107,000, $108,000. This now is Bitcoin's price has got to go up to convince some people to sell to the new people who want to buy the Bitcoin.
It's the circle.
So yeah, what's very interesting to me, even at $107,000, people do not want to sell their Bitcoin. That to me is absolutely insane. At these price levels, they do not want to sell. Remember, guys, when people were saying, I'm going to sell all their Bitcoin I have when it hits 100K, when it hits 100, now it's at 108K. If you have like 3 Bitcoin, you can sell it for a house. And some people refuse to do it because there's so much money in this market right now. People were crying a few years ago that it's never gonna happen. Bitcoin is never gonna hit 100K, that the markets will immediately dump the day it reaches 100K. And what we are learning by that is that nobody truly knows the markets. Nobody truly knows what's going on. Nobody knew that XRP is going to go so much up. Nobody knew that Bonk is going to go up. So cropped up coin day, blessings. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks so much for joining the stream. Thanks, man. But welcome. But we are going to be looking at this and probably considering that people wanted to buy it for more. They wanted to buy it for, way less. They wanted to buy it for 90,000, 110,000. So when it reaches that level, that's gonna be insane.
The ProCap made a significant institutional move, purchasing 3,700 Bitcoin at an average price of $103,000 just yesterday. And
Crow has been going absolutely insane today because of the ETF listing. So pretty good news. Like Ethereum going to $80,000 is going to take a lot of money in without anyone selling. But for Bitcoin, what we're seeing right now is institutions have an unbelievable amount of money that you and me will probably never see in our lives. Money that can probably buy countries. And they're holding that. They're literally holding that to sell it at the right moment when the government comes in and starts buying Bitcoin supplies. It's a very concerning thing because, again, Bitcoin might happen the same we saw with stocks and real estate. It's more risky in a sense, but then people can just buy like an asset, exactly like an apartment. That's what we saw with apartments. There's a limited supply of apartments and people cannot afford rent. And we are seeing same with Bitcoin. And we're seeing the same with all these cryptos. We're seeing the same patterns every single day. And I was here warning you. So there is a big problem with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Actually, with Ethereum that I'm concerned, and that's what they actually released right now. They will start to burn ETH. So I think Bitcoin supply is actually less than 21 million right now, the available one. Because what we are seeing right now with Ethereum is it's getting burned or lost, it's getting destroyed, it's getting bought up, it's never going to be touched. Someone loses his keys. He had 1 million. And there's a theory that there's already 2 million or 3 million of Ethereum getting lost. You know, when you read those crypto stories, Ethereum lost, that's exactly what we saw right now. We saw Ethereum getting lost on a very big basis. The alpha is understanding Ethereum supply demand dynamics. In theory, Ethereum max supply is infinite, but it's really not, because people, as long as people keep using it, it's not going to be infinite. But now they try to make a burn. Practice thanks to stablecoins, RWAs, DeFi, NFTs, prediction markets, decentralized social identity, and the Ethereum inflation rate will be lower than the Bitcoin inflation rate for the next 115 years. And this is actually not a very good prediction, because this is a very good example. Ethereum has capped maxed issuance that it's easier to explain. If 100% of ETH is staked and there are no fees, issuance is 1.51%. So Bitcoin has the supply cap, Ethereum has an issuance cap, and issuance generally is much lower. Is that useful framing? How much Ether will there be in 115 years, and how much Bitcoin will there be in 150 years? Please specify an exact number. So people are saying that XRP, that Ethereum is gonna be needing a huge burn, and that's exactly what they announced. That we are getting Ethereum burns, which is good news for anyone holding ETH, because right now Ethereum is in theory infinite, but not really. So exactly, Ethereum's monetary policy is reflexive, not static. Burn mechanics plus block space demand a structural shift from inflationary asset to a productive asset. How do you model demand elasticity across cycles? If block space demand's cool, do we risk clipping? It's wishful thinking. We'll need trillions of inflows yearly to sustain this coin down the road. In 10 to 20 years, it will go worthless, but it will have a nice run soon, which I would recommend everyone to exit and go Bitcoin when that happens. That's also possible, but how does he know that? He does not. So nobody knows if Ethereum is going to be here for the next 5 years. Nobody knows if Ethereum is going to be gone next month. And, you know, Bitcoin is also getting mined right now. That's why it's getting issued and what people talk about. Nobody knows anything about crypto right now. So people are saying that Ethereum is going to be gone. They've been saying that 10 years ago. They've been saying there was a burn, actually. So there was a burn, but after that, we actually saw Ethereum go down. Ethereum utility is unmatched with real adoption across DeFi, NFT, stablecoins, and more. Its inflation staying below Bitcoin makes perfect sense. My investment on Ethereum since a year ago is still not appreciating. Safe to say that Ethereum is the worst investment since the past few years. There's definitely worse investments than Ethereum. Let's say you bought a house in an unstable market like Detroit, and you lose your whole house. So any crypto is probably not that bad as you think. There's probably 10 times worse investments than people realize. Maybe bad investment in the health. If you have a bad investment in your own health, that's probably the worst investment you can ever have. Like, if you eat bad food, you die early. And you can always, guys, remember, smash that like button if you haven't already, but you can always make more money, but you can never get your health back. So people are talking about Ethereum. It's going to be the worst ever. And they're talking how Ethereum is gonna be destroyed. It's technically infinite, but practically allergic to inflation. Like, as long as people use Ethereum, it's never gonna be infinite. So, oh, this is official reply. Oh, okay, they responded why they sold 100K of Bitcoin for Ethereum. Now, this is another post I'm seeing. Like, there's so many different opinions on the markets, on Ethereum or Bitcoin or XRP. And, you know, there's going to be always people thinking their own things with crypto. So we sold Bitcoin for ETH, giving us one of the largest Ethereum holdings among any publicly traded company in the world. So if you don't know what happened, they made an official response on why they sold all of their Bitcoin to Ethereum. So Ethereum can rewrite the entire financial system. We've aligned ourselves and accumulated 100K ETH, and we tend to aggressively add more Ethereum holding company in the world. So they know it's a very good price. So guys, let me tell you something. Bit Digital buying and selling all their Bitcoin right now when it's 107,000 and saying, let's sell all of it and buy Ethereum. This to me is very bullish because we are trading maybe with $5,000 or $2,000. Now, do we know something about crypto markets? Sure. But do we know something about the crypto markets compared to someone that has a salary of $200,000 per year and is literally paid every single day to research if they should make a $100 million trade? No, we do not. And that's exactly the thing. This is the big reason why I think crypto is going to be absolutely exploding in the next few days. We have converted Bitcoin holdings into ETH and have raised an additional 172 million to purchase ETH. We are returning to our roots, a cryptocurrency company focused on Ethereum. So all these big companies, all these big institutions were buying Ethereum, or were buying Bitcoin, are now buying Ethereum. And holy smokes. This to me saying Ethereum is kings, freaking legends. That's huge news. So response, I guess I can quote that as response on buying 200 million ETH. That's pretty huge. 200 million is a lot of bazingas, a lot of money. $200 million of ETH. Like that's huge. We sold Bitcoin for Ethereum. I think that's the CEO. Yeah, that's the CEO. Let's give him a follow. Giving us one of the largest Ethereum holdings among any publicly traded company in the world. The simple truth is that Ethereum powers the most widely used blockchain in the world. Its utility, security, and scarcity are irrefutable. And I guess a lot of people could buy it as well now. But this is actually huge news. Best of luck. And Godspeed. Guys, follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. Let's smash that like button. Helps me out a lot. We got 6 likes and 18 viewers. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the stream. I'm basically documenting my journey on crypto. Justin, CEO of Ripple. So again, where were we? Yeah, basically they sold their Bitcoin at the top and Ethereum. So what they're basically doing is they're saying Ethereum and Bitcoin is going to be worth more. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, $1 million on this. So definitely a ton of money on this one. And great news for anyone in crypto, to be honest. Because like if Ethereum goes up, the entire market might go up as well. A lot of like these meme tokens, a lot of these altcoins, they're tied to Ethereum as well. So all of people saying Ethereum is not going up will lose money as well. Like they're holding the Ethereum meme coins on the Ethereum blockchain. And that's why we're seeing so many posts of Ethereum going up. And that's why we're seeing, XRP going up of itself because XRP is its own thing. Solana is its own thing. Ethereum is tied to all these meme coins that actually really crashed and didn't perform as well. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. It's just good news. All right, so this is new. All right, so remember how XRP was in a lawsuit? Now XRP might be getting praised by the US government. Breaking: the banking senate praises Ripple and XRP. Let's take a look at this. This is actually pretty much huge. And it's basically something that people haven't seen because it just arrived 14 minutes ago. Let me just post that as well so anyone can see. Praises the US government praises XRP and Brad Garlinghouse. Brad. Oh, here he is. Brad Garlinghouse. This is huge news. Smash that like button, guys, if you haven't already. But basically what we're seeing here is good morning, Chair Scott, Ranking Member Warren, and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. My name is Brad Garlinghouse, and I'm CEO of Ripple. Ripple has nearly 900 employees. Wow, that's a lot of employees and probably a lot of work done as well. And I am the CEO of Ripple. We have 15 offices worldwide. So that's a pretty good amount. Ripple was founded more than a decade ago with the mission to enable the Internet of Value, a world where money moves like information does today. We build software products that power cross-border payments, stablecoins, and digital custody. Ripple helps financial institutions reduce friction, unlock efficiencies, and serve their customers better. When people ask why Ripple is, at this price revenue, at this price level, this is exactly why. These are not abstract concepts. We work every day with banks that rely on our technology to deliver real results in the global economy. So overall, it's very good news for everyone in XRP. Ripple leverages the XRP ledger, a decentralized, battle-tested, open-source blockchain, and its native digital asset, XRP, to facilitate payments. XRP is built to enable fast, low-cost, highly scalable transactions. From the start, Ripple made the deliberate choice to work with policymakers and regulators, even though they had a $500 million lawsuit, and not around them. We take a compliance-first approach, operating with over 60 payment service, crypto, and money transmitter licenses domestically and globally. With regard of this hearing, we believe smart legislation should be based on several core principles. Consumers need protection from fraud and scams. Markets need proper oversight. Bad actors need to be kept in check, and innovation must thrive. So this is the thing that he makes a very good point. This is the thing that's issue with crypto is he wants to make it transparent, and some crypto stuff you cannot track anything. That's why some companies don't use it. There's a ledger here. There's a crypto company there. They want to basically form this in a big sort of a blockchain sorts and have all these companies unite. And with regard to the topic of the hearing, we believe smart legislation should be based on several core principles. Consumers need protection from fraud and scams. Markets need proper oversights. Bad actors need to be kept in check, and innovation must thrive. A constructible and workable framework for digital assets and stablecoins that achieves this goal would expand access to basically the government. And we can see the full document here, which I will check. Just give me one moment to open. All right, so create jobs and boost the economy, and they put US to being a blockchain and crypto leader. That's exactly what the US government wants. They want to put US into like this crypto powerhouse. They don't want crypto people to leave USA because there's tons of money in that as well. And it was a tip of a spear, was the first leading US crypto company to be sued by the SEC. And then they fought it and they won. The US, fortunately, after 4 years of hard fought, we prevailed. The court ruled in our favor on everything that mattered, including finding the token XRP is not in itself a security. Ripple still prioritizes education engagement with policymakers and regulators. First, set clear jurisdictional boundaries for our main financial regulators. Second, establish pathways for companies to build in the US without sacrificing investors or consumer protections. So without you putting this into ChatGPT, we can actually look at what this means. And this basically means that when we're seeing this document, something fell behind me. Oh, it's my phone. Anyway, as I was saying, the US possesses the world's deepest capital market. So they're trying to reach, Ripple is trying to reach US investors. I'm just going to zoom this in because it probably looks 10 times better. The US possesses the world's deepest capital markets. And this is definitely true. The most advanced technical talent. Like, there's so many people that are great at their job and they want to go abroad because they're probably getting paid better. I know a ton of people want to move to Japan. And smash that like button, guys, if you haven't already. Thank you so much. The real importance is the spirit of innovation that has powered our nation since its founding. There is no reason we should not be the undisputed leader in digital assets and blockchain. So they basically want to go through the government way. They don't want to go through the people's way where they buy cryptos. They want to go through the government. Over 55 million Americans participate in the crypto economy, which equates to a 3.4 trillion market cap today. A smart regulatory framework. So 55 million Americans like bought crypto or hold some sort of crypto. Market structure is essential to realize that future and is long overdue. Entire crypto industry, I urge you to prioritize the passage of market structure legislation for digital assets. So, guys, I'm going to go through what this exactly means. So he's basically asking the US government, hey, we want to build with you and we're ready like to drop everything and work with you. And we want to basically be in good standing with you. But we want XRP to also like show you what we can do for crypto. And this way, it's a win-win because we're going to help the US. If we do that. Helping consumers and businesses alike. Ripple hopes to see this become a reality and we look forward to working with you and we'll make this happen. Thank you. So this was the entire document. Pretty nice one overall. Because what this basically means is the United States Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs from Wall Street to Web3, building tomorrow's digital asset market. So Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, is coming to the government and saying, we don't want anything bad. We have already 900 employees. We got the infrastructure, and we want to help you, the US government, build this in a proper and fair way. Any way you want, we are offering you to build it with us, not against us. We're not going to hide stuff. We have everything you need. We just need you to pay us. We need you to work with us. We need to pay our employees. And that to me screams confidence. That to me screams that Ripple has been growing up after this document. Actually, the price went up. It's good news for XRP. It's good news for crypto because this is the thing that would save crypto in 2022. Crypto regulation. Because this is exactly what crypto needs to have these big investors come in. Why would an institution put in money in something that's scary or something that's risky? They don't have any reason to. They can just buy properties or shares. Money is money, right? So instead, what they can do is they can just buy real estate. They can buy gold. They can buy anything that's regulated. They can buy stocks. But now they're looking for new money. They don't have any reason. They're buying different crypto properties. They want to buy different stuff. And one easy money here, or multiple cash flows, are cryptos. Cryptos are the new cash flow of the 21st century. And here we are with a new document coming in with Brad talking about crypto. So I'm going to probably post that on Twitter. Let me see here. This is a very good Twitter post here. There's tons of posts here that made crypto Ripple great. Like look at this. I'm just gonna point it out. Let me pull it up here. XRP breaking. XRP wants to work with the US government. Huge news for crypto. So yeah, definitely good news overall for anyone in the crypto space. And there's just a ton of stuff here that makes people really happy about this. I guess this was a time in the making, but it's probably going to take a few months before we really see the price effect on this. I am, however, still hopeful for crypto that, something else could happen. Like it's information of more and more news that makes XRP explode. It's not just one single entity event that makes really crypto explode. XRP didn't explode because it wanted to work with the US government. It exploded on many factors that it tried to fix for the last 10 years. Ethereum was building for 10 years, and that's the issue with meme coins. They come here, they're here today, but they don't build anything, and they're gone tomorrow. And the founders, they take the money and they leave. But with cryptos like that, with XRP, that's why people believe it. Because if you want to trust someone, you got to work with them for 10 years. If you have a business partner, you work with them for many years before you trust them with tons of money. You don't work with someone for 1 year and he asks you for $5,000 and you're going to give him $5,000, right? So here we go, XRP holders. XRP wants to build basically a platform for the US government to work with. Low cost, highly scalable transactions. So they're basically telling the government, we want to build exactly what the US government is looking for. So here we go again. XRP. Brad Garlinghouse. Here we go. Brad Garlinghouse wants to work, enable fast transactions for the US government. XRP documents show USA might be the #1 crypto hub. And then we check. So that's what US wants, because if you have all that trading volume and all these big crypto companies, crypto and finance, that's what US is aiming for. These two markets bringing a ton of money, all these companies from Japan, Korea coming to USA to work with USA would make USA basically a powerhouse, make like a little fan club that would pump it, that would pump USA, stock market would pump everything. So this is huge. Work with US government. Voice is starting to crack a bit. Seeing the bank acknowledge XRP and Ripple XRP as major step towards mainstream adoption. Again, yeah, this is a good factor to put in. that XRP might be one step closer before any other cryptos. Here, right here. Like if you go to the government 10 years ago and basically say, can we work with you? And you're like a crypto project, they would laugh in your face, like the US government would laugh in your face. But crypto has become so big right now that it cannot be ignored. And there's people very, very bullish on this, because if this gets in effect, and when it does, all the crypto whales, all the big institutions will be joining in. So, okay. Another whale buys Bitcoin. All right. Yeah, I think this is another news that we saw today. HBAR ETF delayed. That's, I mean, we're getting a lot of these delays, but it's not really a bad sign. Usually they delay it because of regulation. And now we saw HBAR, which is another token, getting delayed. But that is because we saw the same pattern with Ethereum with all these ETF delays. Is right now it might be delayed, but the real thing is people will probably go ahead and just approve it later on. And it's not that big of a deal. Like usually during summer, there is government hours and they're delaying stuff. So HBAR ETF delayed until September. We will get more HBAR ETF news. It's not even that crazy to me. Like I definitely think it's kind of normal, because this is what we see in crypto all the time. It gets delayed because of government work, summer, and usually in September there's more of a bull run. What ends up happening is with all these delays, you actually do see the markets pump later on and these ETFs selling better. So not that bad at all. For anyone wondering, this is definitely pretty normal news if you ask me. Oh man, there's so much news. Half of this news is so bad. Okay. XRP government, huge news. I actually was predicting this, that it happens July 9th. This is exactly what I was talking about, and because I'm a small channel, nobody listened to me yet. But it is definitely big. I'm gonna probably post some videos now. I'm gonna keep the stream short, just under 2 hours. Next time we're gonna be having longer streams. Thank you for smashing the like button, guys, and watching. I'm probably gonna do a 4-hour stream tomorrow, so we can check that out. And whoever joined me, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna peace out, because I'm gonna make a longer. I'm going to post all these videos up. I need to show this to people, what happened to XRP and what this means for XRP. Definitely good news in my opinion, but definitely going to go stream more, maybe even up to 4 hours tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming daily as well, so be sure to follow my Twitter, follow my Kick, follow my Twitch. Just watch me on any platform you like, as long as you watch me. But yeah, I really enjoyed this.